Welcome back to the second segment of our show this morning. We are joined on the couch by three women who are employees of the Customs and Excise Department. And for you guys that don't know, we're going to be discussing Customs and Excise Day. The theme for this year is Data Analysis for Effective Border Management. Now, the conversation will not be limited to only this particular area. We're going to try to make it as broad and as comprehensive as possible nonetheless. So we're joined by Acting Deputy Comptroller Estelle Leslie. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're also joined by Customs and Excise Clerks 1 Raquel Waight and ERmelda Cocom. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. So we're talking about Custom and Excise Day. So let's start with you, ERmelda. When is it taking place? What can we all expect?
We are here showcasing World Customs Day.
Okay.
It's an annual event that will take place tomorrow.
Okay.
Every year it's the 26th of January.
Okay.
And we are having an open day at Battlefield Park on Albert Street. Our opening ceremony begins at 9 o'clock. And after the ceremony, we have a day where we interact with the public, and we'll have there some of our stakeholders in trade. So this year, like he said, the theme is analyzing data for effective border management. And our focus this year will be on two new areas of customs: risk management and post-clearance audit. So Ms. Raquel is from the risk management unit, and Ms. ERmelda is from post-clearance audit. And it's all World Customs Day because we are a member of the World Customs Organization since 2008, April. And the World Customs Organization main objective is to improve efficiency and effectiveness in custom administration. They have 180 members, and we are one. And so every year we celebrate under their theme, World Customs Day. So we want to invite members of the public to come on out and be with us tomorrow at Battlefield Park. And tying in the two topics that we want to discuss with World Customs Day. One of the way that they go about improving efficiency and effectiveness is through modernization. And we have started our modernization project in 2009 with the introduction of Asekuda World. And with Asekuda World, it used risk management to identify how we will treat shipment using risk, identifying risk. So we have 4 different channels where you could get, which is red, yellow, blue, and green. If you get red, you get 100% examination, physical and documentary check. Yellow, documentary check. Blue, post-clearance audit. And green, you're released right away. You're released right away for blue, and then post-clearance audit section goes in and do auditing. So their focus is analyzing data. So that is why we are putting this topic and using these two units.
I have a question to ask in light of what you've presented. I can recall the launch of Asekuda World in 2009 indeed. It was a grand affair and what have you. I've also been able to have conversations with customs brokers who have complained about how lengthy and drawn out the process has been because of all of these individual steps. In your opinion, has this served to improve the function of the Customs Department in terms of being able to provide prompt and timely clearance for shipments? Or has this been a bumpy road, so to speak?
Definitely it have improved clearance time. Because with Asekuda World, it's a 24-hour system. So you do not have to wait on Customs to open its door at 8 in the morning. And it's an electronic system. You can go on the system from the comfort of your home or from your office and log on and do what you need to do on the system. It also, the system is utilized for almost the entire clearance, from putting in manifest, doing your declaration, paying online at the bank, and coming to Customs triggering selectivity and just seeing what color channel you receive. So if you receive the blue channel, then it's just getting your goods, and post clearance is there to come in after. And if you get the green channel, it's directly getting your shipment. Yeah. So it indeed improves clearance time. The only problem is that there are other stakeholders involved. So while we have as a Cuda World to facilitate trade, you have to be mindful that the port is a private port, and there are other entities that need to get involved in the clearance process. So we are trying to get them on board to let the trade facilitation be more effective and efficient.
Okay. Well, Raquel, talk to us a little bit about what you do in your role and risk management. Of course, there are plenty risks that can come up, especially as it relates to how we transport and move ourselves and get across the border, things like that. People could come up with a lot of ways to beat the system. So talk to us a little bit about the risks that exist, the ones that are most prevalent, and the way that Customs is working to manage those risks.
Okay, the way how risk management operates, risk management is not something like Ms. Leslie said that Customs woke up one morning and said, you know what, we're going to start to apply risk management.
Well, that's a good thing to know.
You know, risk management originated from several treaty agreements, such as the Arusha Declaration, the Revised Kyoto Convention. We have the Safe Framework, and it especially came from the World Trade Organization, with them promoting trade facilitation since December of 2013, after the signing of the Bali Ministerial Conference. Okay, so the WTO recognized that the nature of customs have changed somewhat from a revenue standpoint to more. We also have to look at safeguarding the country, safeguarding the borders, and you know, we have to. They decided that, you know what, customs have to come up with a better way to work easier, not harder, but to have the same effect and balancing out trade, and also have that enforcement and control in place. And hence the reason customs has been tasked with applying the risk management system. And the way how the risk management system is simply a systematic approach whereby we identify, we analyze, and we address and monitor risks, both internal and external risks that can occur or might have a potential of occurring or has already occurred, and we want to try to mitigate those risks. What the risk management system does is that we gather information from different sources. Information comes from the Cuda World Data Bank. We get information from various sectors within customs, including the Post Audit Unit and the Enforcement and Examination Unit. We look at those data. We push the data through the risk management module, where it is filtered, and we identify trends and different risks that can occur or may be occurring, and we try to look at the traders and try to identify those traders that may pose a low risk or low or no risk at all, and we try to facilitate those traders by sending their shipment through the green channel. Now, Ms. Leslie explained that through the green channel you will have little or no customs intrusion. This means that you get your shipment from the dock, you clear your documents, and you take your shipment without customs even opening that container. We facilitate the law, and then we focus. The idea of risk management is to focus our scarce resources on those shipments that might pose greater risk. And that is where now the risk that we identify, those shipments are directed to the red channel. Once goods are directed to the red channel, then they will go through the full process of documentary check. We will do detailed examination and to see if the risk still exists, and if there is risk at the ones that are red, then we try to deal with those people with the full extent of the law. We have to bear in mind also that customs is trying to move away from being just an enforcer and move towards being compliant, to encouraging traders to become more compliant. And we do this through the, we have a program that we have launched since May 2015 that we call the Voluntary Compliant Program. It's in a pilot stage right now. We have identified, I think it's 30 members, 30 traders, and our companies, as you would know them as 30 companies that we deem them to be compliant. These are the 30 companies who contribute majority of the revenue to Customs Department. So we facilitate them through the Voluntary Compliant Program, where 80% of their shipments are guaranteed to go to the green channel.
Let me ask a question. When you look at the spectrum as described by you guys, you have red on one end and green on the other end. Red means you're flagged to go through the entire process. Green means you're basically green lighted to just walk away with your product, essentially.
Yes.
Talk to us about some of the shipments that you've received that would automatically either raise the red flag versus some of the shipments that you've received that you've given the green light to off bat.
Okay, the way how we apply the green light is that we look at your historical data. We look at the type of reports that we have gotten, not only from Customs, but from other agencies on the company's track record and how they have performed throughout the years. Because we don't look at you and say, okay, you got this shipment, we didn't identify any risk, so you begin to get green. No, we look at you over the period of time. And once we've identified that you pose little or no risk, then we see no use of wasting resources to be examining your shipment. And the ones that that may go through the red channel, how we identify them is maybe they have had previous or a number of customs infraction in regards to classification errors, misdescription of goods, maybe valuation problems, and any customs infractions. We look at those people and say, okay, these are the ones that we need to focus on, because these are the ones who are likely to have customs in infraction. We try to look at those, we try to put them through the red lane to encourage, like I say, encourage them to become more compliant, because you have to understand now the way how risk management works. In the business community, let's say the both of you have companies, you're a VCP member or you're a low risk trader, but you're a high risk trader, you bring in the same type of goods. Now, because we identify you as a low risk trader, you might get your goods on the shelf faster than how you can get it. By the time now you operate on volume, because you're getting your goods on the shelf quicker than he can, then you will be able to sell your goods quicker. You'll be able to turn over much faster than you, who we deem to be non-compliant. So now it's in your best interest to become more compliant and to work along with customs to see how your behavior can change so that you can get on the compliant list, so that you can have better competition with your competitor. So.
All right, now ERmelda, how does the post-clearance aspect of this work?
Okay, so we're the background to BCP, to risk management, because what we do, as the name implies, post-audit clearance, it's auditing after your goods has been cleared. Like you said, because of the channel that we have blue, which says that your document goes directly to post-audit clearance. We deal with reviewing all the documentation, making sure that all your taxes are being paid, and you are free to take your goods. We deal, if there's any infraction, any error, and you owe any taxes, then this is being done after the goods has been cleared. Also, because of the green channel, where you are free to just take your goods without having anybody examine what is in the container, then this is where the audit comes in after the fact. So those are some of the benefit of the Asecura world, that you are able to get your stuff faster. So your clearance time is decreased, your cost is decreased also, and we come in afterwards to make sure that you're being compliant. Because now post-audit clearance is enforcement, but it is enforcement focused on compliance. So we're not there to rough up the importers, as normally people see when custom goes into a business. We're there because there is something wrong. Yes, there might be something wrong maybe with your system, and this is where we go in and we take a look at everything that you have and make sure that you're doing the correct procedure, and government is getting the proper duties and taxes. It's not only focus, it's not only the business or the importer that is involved in post-clearance audit, because the way we track the flow of documentation, it starts from the seller. So there may be time when we would have to go, the foreign sellers, we would have to contact them to make sure that the invoices are the proper invoices and there's no chances of valuation fraud. We also would need to check with the freight agent, because they would be involved, and they would be required also to make sure that they have proper record keeping, because if there's any error wrong, then we would need to check with the freight agent as well. It also involves the custom broker, because they are the ones who are responsible for making the declaration and making sure that the documents that are required are in place, making sure that the goods are properly classified so that the proper duties are attached to each item. So they would also be held responsible, and they can be contacted by customs during the audit process. And the responsibility of the importers now is to make sure that they have proper record keeping, which under our regulation would require that they have a minimum of 3 years record when it comes to any custom document, any permits, license that was required. We can access the inventory, and our audit will be taking place on the premises. So this is new, because the business community, they are familiar with being audited by GST, but have never been audited by customs. So this is why we take this particular opportunity to highlight what we are starting. You know, we want to make sure that they understand what is it that we're doing, why is it that we're going into the companies and doing the auditing, how we can help them to make sure that the compliance level goes up, and to highlight what's the benefit of being compliant. So that's our main focus of the post-audit clearance.
Now, I can imagine there are a lot of challenges with implementing new strategies, new protocols, especially within the business community, because a lot of businesses, especially the small ones, would say, oh, that they put more standards and regulations on more pressure, and I just to try make a buck so I could take care of my family. How do you encourage, especially small businesses, to understand the importance of these new regulations, these new standards, and why it's in the long run beneficial for their business?
I think the key here for us as customs is the educational aspect of it.
For sure.
Because if you don't know, then you begin to get information from others and get confused, and that's exactly where we don't want them to be. So with these two units, we're starting an educational campaign to our importers, and so we encourage even the smallest business to come out and hear what post-clearance audit and risk management is all about, so that they can know that it's not that we are trying to stop trade. We would never do that. We are trying to facilitate trade. We are trying to make them more compliant, and they will understand that it will benefit them in the longer run, because they will receive their goods faster. Our modernization project also focus on letting the public know exactly what a Secuda World is all about. But these two units are a part of that, and so down the line we have to incorporate them. So from the beginning of our Secuda World, we were telling them that customs blue is post-clearance audit, but we had to get our officers ready to go into their businesses. So they had an idea but now we will have to really push the educational campaign to get them more involved, to have an open door policy. If you don't understand, you come to us. We will educate you as to what is expected of you, because we want you to comply. We want to help you. We want to facilitate legitimate trade, and I have to stress legitimate trade. Once you are doing that, then you won't have a problem with customs. Customs will be the good guys after this, because when people think about customs, they always think about just paying and
When you think about
roughing up and
contraband
things
busts.
yeah, that's
It's
so
one of those associations,
we want to
right?
show another face to customs.
Yeah.
So this is the new way we are going. We're getting you compliant, to be compliant.
I'm glad that you mentioned the new face of the customs department, and I think that that begins tomorrow, for instance, where you have an exhibit that, or an open day that allows people to be able to come in and educate themselves as to the general function of the department, as well as specific areas of interest to them. I guess some people would be surprised to know that Asekuda World, for instance, has been in existence since 2009, but the fact that they may not have been interacting with the department as frequently as they ought to be for some business owners, going to this exhibit tomorrow would actually give them that opportunity to learn how prompt and efficient the process can be once they understand how it works.
Yes, because like you rightly said, most business rely on their agent to come to customs, and then they get frustrated if they don't get their goods in time. They do not understand the custom process. So now if we educate them and tell them, hey, it's not custom fault, you know, this is a 24 hours system. The shipping agent, the airline agent get to put in their manifest before the means of transportation comes to Belize. When it lands, they get registered. Before that is happen, you have your invoices, you have your documentation. The custom broker can input their declaration online. And when the shipment land in Belize and they get their registration number, that declaration is already stored. So it's just to register that declaration. After it's registered, you sit in your office and you pay at the bank, because we have two of our bank, Atlantic and Belize Bank, which they have a web service connection to custom. So when you pay at those banks, you don't have to come to a cashier. The payment is made automatically in Asekuda World, and you can print your receipt and go for your goods.
That's brilliant.
So
that's brilliant.
Once they understand that process and understand again that if they are compliant, we have risk management there who put in criteria, and your shipment might get green. So if it gets green, then you get it right away.
What I'm understanding here, and why I'm stressing on the idea that to me it sounds brilliant, is the fact that I guess I could also recall when customs had long lines of people waiting for stuff to be cleared, right? And what you're describing as an integration of all these systems, for instance, you have the banks where you can do your transaction online from that end. Maybe you're at home or you're in the office and you're able to clear with the banks on your laptop or on your tablet or whatsoever, and then just go and pick up your item afterwards using a receipt. It shows how expeditious the process has become, which I think is really good.
And that's one of the benefits we're trying to get across, that you reduce your clearance time. Reducing clearance time means that you're also saving money, because if you have to do the examination, you're spending more time. If it's container, then you have to pay the people to unload. So it does come with a cost, and this is what Asekuda World does, is reduce your clearance time, which eventually it reduces your cost, and you get your goods quicker on your shelf.
Talk to us a little bit about the benefits for the average person who don't necessarily have a business, but they have family who send them things from the States or wherever it is. How does Asekuda World how is it beneficial for just Joe public?
The average person,
Oh, well, the average person, they don't have to get a custom broker. If you are getting, for example, a barrel from the States, then customs does the processing of your simplified declaration. We have what we refer to as a SAD, which is the customs declaration, and it's a standard administrative document, because it's one document that is used by customs for import, export, transit, transshipment. But the difference is the type of declaration you're doing. So commercial shipment, the custom broker gets involved, or your agent, and they do the declaration online for you. If you are getting a private shipment, like with a barrel or something like that, then you come to customs, and customs verify what you have and assess it online, and then you just go to the cashier and pay your duty. So it's a different, where the system yes, facilitate commercial, and it also assists the regular Jan public in that they don't have to go and pay a custom broker to do their custom entry.
Yeah.
They custom facilitate that process for them.
Okay, sounds
And it also, with the, like what you said, the regular person out there that might get a barrel or a package, that is where the risk management system comes in now, because we are not focusing on each and every shipment.
Yeah.
It means that we have a lot of time to spare now to focus on the little shipments and the ones that poses the greater risk. So because of that now, with the efficiency and time, we have time to spend on that, so the average person can actually spend less time at customs as it used to be.
Well, ladies, we're just about and coming to the close of our conversation. So just remind the public one more time about where the Customs and Excise Day event is taking place, what times, what people can expect, who you want to come out to get the information.
Well, the Customs Day will be held tomorrow at the Battlefield Park. It's next to Brody's. For those persons who can't remember, well, Battlefield Park, it's the one next to Brody's. We'll be out there from around 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We want to encourage, not only, we're encouraging the school because we want to start the education process from that level. So we're encouraging schools to come out to bring students so that they can interact with customs. But we also want the business community especially to come out. So if you have questions, you can come out, you ask your questions, you can see what post-clearance audit is all about, you can see what risk management is all about. And we encourage everyone, even Jan public can come, because you know they might still have a little question, oh, I crossed the border, what can I bring, what can I not bring, or I come to the airport, you know, this happened to me, I want to know if I was treated right, or maybe, you know, I overreacted. I want to know what are my rights and in regards to customs regulations and, you know, things like that. So we encourage everybody to come out, and it should be a very informative day.
I just want to stress as well that it's not only customs that will be out there. We have invited some of our other stakeholders in the process. So we will have, like, for example, Bell Trade that deals with investment. We will have the banks, and we will also have the Department of the Environment. We are trying to get all our stakeholders to who deal with our process, because a part of a Secuda world as well is linkages. So we have Department of the Environment and Bell Trade and Ministry of Finance. All of them are linked to customs, so that it's an easier process for importers. So those people will also be out there who are a part of the process.
Well, ladies, thanks for joining us this morning. Again, it's been a very informative conversation, and we look forward to having you guys again some other time where we can discuss other aspects of customs and excise. Thanks for joining us once again.
Thank you.
We're going to take a commercial break at this point, and then when we return, it's to speak with our good friends from Palote High School who are embarking on a fundraising initiative. So stay tuned and join us after the break.